What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today's video, full tour of all my aquariums. Let's go. So we'll start with what I think is probably my favourite tank, and it's this 110 litre fully planted tank. If you've watched any of my other videos, this tank has featured fairly heavily, and I've actually got a video on the full setup of this tank. As I said, it's 110 litres, which I believe is around about 30 gallons. It's filtered purely by sponge filters. I've got one in each corner. The light is a Fluval Aqua Sky, and the hood is a nice little DIY hood, and a DIY stand as well. The inhabitants include quite a few rice fish. They do actually hide a lot. They're not a big fan of the camera, but let's, I'm sure there's a few around here. We've got a little guy here, got a little guy here. I reckon there's about 40 of them in there. We've also got a bristlenose pleco, a super red bristlenose pleco, who isn't out at the moment, but he is nocturnal, so I'll insert a bit of footage of him. We've also got various different snails, a neorite snail, we've got common pond snails, Malaysian trumpet snails, and we've also got about 10 shrimp, Neocardinia shrimp. They're red and orange, and I'm hoping they're going to breed in there. I'm not too sure if they will, but fingers crossed. If not, I'll probably just buy a few more, just to, because you don't really see them that much. There's one actually, one just there. I've just spotted another one just there. So they are out and about a fair bit, but I'd like to see a few more of them. Maintenance wise on this tank, I do a 30% water change every week, and I just sort of trim where necessary. The plants do grow pretty quick. The Vallisneria particularly has gone like pretty crazy recently. You can see it sends out all these runners. So it sent this one's gone over to here, and it's just sent out another one, I think. Yeah, down there. So we'll probably be getting another little val out there. A little shrimp there. So that's the 110 litre fully planted tank done. On to the next one. So the next tank I'm going to show you is actually my quarantine tank, and it's a 35 litre or 10 gallon tank, so ideal for quarantine purposes. This tank sits just below the planted tank, and in the next couple of videos, I'm planning on actually like doing this whole little area out, because it looks a bit like rubbish with all these cables and everything going everywhere. So I'm going to make a hood for this little tank. We'll just take that off actually, because it's got a bit of a weird reflection, and so we can have a little look in there. Yeah, I'm going to make a hood for it, and I'm going to build like a little shelf in here so we can lift it up a little bit and hide all the cables underneath. And yeah, it'll be a nice little build, and then we'll aquascape it all, make it look nice. Currently in here is just one little baby rice fish, although he's actually starting to, there he is, he's actually starting to get quite big now. He's probably big enough to go in with the adults. He ended up in here because when I was quarantining the bristlenose pleco from up here, who we can't see again, I borrowed one of the sponge filters out of here, and it must have had some eggs on it, and yeah, we ended up with this little guy. So I couldn't put him back in because the adults would probably eat him. So I've just been growing him up for the last couple of months, and yeah, he's big enough to go in with the adults now. I think I'll actually put him in my tank downstairs, which we'll be seeing shortly. The light on this tank is just a little really cheap, it was only a £5 from All Pond Solution. Yeah, seems to do the trick. I mean, it's probably not going to grow many plants, but all it is to, you know, I've just got a little bit of moss in there, some Java fern, some moss balls. Seems to grow them all right, and it is just a quarantine tank, so keep it simple. So the next tank is my 55 litre or 15 gallon tank, and it has my 2 guppies in here. These guppies are really old. They used to live in the tank downstairs, but they're the only ones left from a batch of 12 male guppies that I had living down there. And yeah, they're pretty old, so they're basically just in their retirement home. I'm not really a big fan of this tank. It does need to be re-aquascaped, and so that's why I want to get this want to get the little rice fish out of here into the main tank. Then I can move the guppies from here into this tank, and then we can do a full aquascape on this tank. And I'm actually thinking I might make this into a betta tank, because I've never kept a betta fish before. So let me know what you think of that. Have you kept a betta fish before? Drop it in the comments below. Also, I don't know if we're going to be able to see these, but there is actually 2 little baby rice fish in here. Yeah, we're not going to be able to see them. They're absolutely shiny, and they must have come in on this plant, because I did a big trim on the planted tank a couple of weeks ago, and I put the cuttings from this plant into here, and there must have been some eggs attached to it, because there's now a couple of little baby rice fish. But the guppies don't appear to be eating them, so that's good. Next up, man like Mo. So this is Mo the goldfish. If you've seen any of my other videos, you'll know that Mo is one of my goldfish out of my pond, who is in here recovering because he's got some sort of internal bacteria issue. So I've tried various medications for him. If you have a look, he's got that thing on the side of him, not too sure what that is, but the main issue is the cloudy eyes, which I think are starting to get a little bit better. Started him on a new medication 3 days ago. It's Maricin 2, it's a type of antibiotic I think, and I mix it in with some Rapasha gel food. So fingers crossed, in the next couple of days we'll see some improvement in Mo here. Send him some good vibes if you can, because really want Mo to do well. Ah, look at him. I mean, he seems alright himself, but hopefully we'll get him sorted. I think we will. Aquascape wise, it's pretty simple, mainly because I couldn't put any plants in here because I had to do a salt treatment on Mo. But once we've got him, you know, healthy again, I would like to try and jazz it up a bit. It's filtered by a canister filter, a Fluval 207 canister filter, which is just below here, down there. And also a little sponge filter in the corner for a bit of extra filtration and some aeration. So this tank also has a DIY hood on there, and a DIY stand with a nice little cover there to keep it all tidy. Also got my aquarium books on the top there, it just looks nice, doesn't it? And various foods here. So yeah, that's Mo the goldfish's tank. In the future, the plan is like Mo will get completely healthy, which he is going to do. In the spring we can get him back out into the pond, and then we can do like a real nice planted aquascape on here, because this has got a pretty decent light on it. It's got another Fluval Aqua Sky light on it, so we should be able to do a nice little aquascape in there. And not too sure what on the fish. I'd quite like to do a full community tank actually, like loads of like little fish, lots of little different types of fish. I think that would be pretty fun. Let me know what you think. So for the final tank we need to head downstairs, so let's go. So this is my only tank that I've got downstairs. This is in my lounge, and it's like my display tank. It's the first ever planted tank that I set up. It's 110 litres or 30 gallons, and it's home to some rice fish, and these are the parents of the rice fish upstairs. It's filtered by a couple of sponge filters again, one in each corner, and a bit of extra aeration in the middle, which helps for circulating of the water. Got a nice fancy Fluval heater. It's one of the rice fish. We've got a few Amana shrimp. I think we can. There's one just there. Another one there. I think there's about 4 of them. We've also got a few Neocardinia shrimp of like various colours. There's one up here, little blue one, quite cool. Plant wise, we've got a load of Vallisneria, some moss balls, a couple of Anubias plants, a couple of crypts at the front here which are doing terribly. But yeah, the light on this is just like a really cheap, I don't think it's even a proper planted light, just one that like came with a tank. But it still grows a fair few plants. I mean, the Val doesn't do amazing, it doesn't do as good as the Val upstairs with the posh light on it, but it does all right. It spreads, it still sends out runners, it grows, and this is honestly one of the easiest tanks to like maintain. I do a small water change, about 30% every 2 weeks, and it just stays perfect. I've never had any algae issues. It's been set up for 4 years now, and yeah, it just runs like an absolute dream. There is a load of snails in there though. Like, it's been completely taken over by Malaysian trumpet snails. They're everywhere. Like, all them little dots you can see, they're all Malaysian trumpet snails. There's also some common pond snails in there. There's one in the corner, and we've also got a couple of nearite snails. There's one up there. There's another one there. They're good for algae control, and yeah, so really simple little tank. My long-term plan though, I really want to upgrade this tank to, I mean, this is 110 litres, and I've had a look online, and I reckon I could get a 450 litre tank and fit it in this gap here. I mean, that'd be awesome. A big, massive planted tank, loads of different community fish all living together. I think that'd look awesome. Let me know what you think about that. Probably a bit of a way off that yet, but gotta have a plan, haven't you? So that is all of my fish tanks. Hope you've enjoyed it. Let me know in the comment section which tank was your favourite tank, and also let me know how many fish tanks you've got. That being said, I hope you've enjoyed the video, and if you have, drop me a like, it really does mean a lot. Consider subscribing, and I will see you in the next one.